Hey garden friends, welcome back to the greenhouse. If you haven't seen the video on the tour of what it looks like right now buried under snow, then go back and go ahead and I'll put a link to it. It's quite interesting what my poor little greenhouse is going through right now and how it is faring. So check that out. Anyways, I needed to get out here despite it being still freezing cold. I have my little dish heater on. It is almost up to 40, but it still feels colder. Maybe it's the moisture in the air. But I had one of my new Clematis from Brushwood Nursery come in. And this one is Charlie Brown. Now this is one that's supposed to bloom spring through fall. It's a hybrid of two other ones. One of them was Prince of Charles or Charles, something like that. And then I don't remember what the other one was. I think it was a guy's name that hybridized it. I will put the link to the information up and or explanation. I should have looked that up before I did this. Anyways, I'm going to try to get the tag off of the bag here. I needed to get it potted up. It's been sitting in my house where it's way too warm. So I need to get it in a pot because it comes just with the soil wrapped in a plastic bag around it. Okay. And I need to get it into a pot. Now, a 1-gallon pot wasn't big enough to put this into unless I shaved off some of the soil, and I didn't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this bag away so I don't disturb the roots much. And these, I love Brushwood Nurseries. They usually range about $36 for a beautifully, this is probably a couple years old, Clematis. Look at this root. I don't know if you can see the roots on this thing, but great root ball. I have not had any problems. There's only one that I had not make it, one or two, and I had evidence that the gophers ate them. So it wasn't the plant or the quality of the plant sent to me. Make sure you can hear me because my jacket's covering my microphone. Let me move it up for you. Okay, better. All right, so I was going to go ahead and pot this up. Let me put some gloves on. Into a pot. This one is wide enough that I can add a little bit of soil to it. And once all the snow melts, I will get it out into the ground. I'm starting a whole new section. It's not a new section, it's an old section of my side yard, but I'm going to be putting lots of climbing roses in it, arbors for the climbing roses to grow over, as well as clematis with them. And it's going to be gorgeous. I've been wondering what to do with that area, and I think I have hit upon what I want to do, and I'm going to follow through. So this is going to be one of them going into that section. Now this one, Charlie Brown, is a type 3 clematis. And that means when you prune it, you just cut it down to the ground. And I'll usually, the type 3 bloom later than the type 1s or 2s. But they also many times bloom longer. So I always look for the ones that bloom the longest when I buy them, and or like some type 1s I get just because of their early bloom time. And I want some earlier blooms. So I'll get those knowing that they will stop earlier too, but then the others, like the number 2s and the number 3s, will start blooming. So I do the same with roses. I like some of the ramblers, which bloom very early, but they have the one bloom and it lasts for like 4 to 6 weeks. But then it stops, and the rest of the summer it just is there. But I have other roses climbing on the same thing, so those roses take over. But for me, the ramblers bloom first, way before my other climbing roses. So it's kind of like a succession planting for roses. And the ramblers just bloom so gorgeously, and they usually have a beautiful, beautiful scent. So I have been just putting the potting soil. I use E.B. Stone's Edna's Best. It's organic. That's what I can find locally that is high quality, and it has always done well. And I would consider this a multi-purpose because I also use it for seed starting, and I've had no issues with damping off or any kind of fungal problems or the seedlings holding on to too much moisture, none of that. So I don't have to buy seed starting mix. So there we have it. My new Charlie Brown, I'm going to put the little thing in it, Clematis, and potted up. And and I do have a video on planting bare root Clematis that you can get in, I've bought the bags of them from Longfield Gardens, like at Costco. Costco will often carry, at least in my area, which is in California, they will often carry the Longfield Gardens in there, their bulbs and what have you. In fact, I just bought a bunch of dahlias and other things. I should go see what I have. I need to bring the dahlias in here and pot them up. Usually I'm potting them up to take cuttings from them. And that's how I get many more dahlias as well. I've also taken cuttings from Clematis. Now they take a long time to get mature and to grow out. So if you've got the patience for it, that works very well. Another way to propagate Clematis is to ground layer it. You lay a stem, like a long vine, along the ground, and Clematis are internodal, meaning they root between the leaf nodes. So you'd make a slice in a leaf node. I put a little bit, not on a leaf node, in between two leaf nodes. You attach it to the ground. You could do it with little hooks. I put stones. You cover it with a little bit of soil, and you make sure it gets watered through the summer, and by the fall you normally have a rooted plant, and or the next fall, by the next spring you have a rooted plant. And do I have a video on that? I don't know if I have. I think I have a video and a blog post on that if you want to see how that's done. But for me, I love getting all the different colors of Clematis. So this is a new color for me, I think, or else I just saw it and thought, oh, I want one of these in my new area. I don't know. I will say, and I want to say this, the one I got and planted in the barrel with my Tess de Uberville roses, one of them was Supernova. That thing was gorgeous and bloomed like crazy. Loved it. So I have high hopes that it'll be just as beautiful this year. The other one was Sugar Sweet Lilac, and I think that's a type 1 pruning Clematis, and it's pretty too, but I just was overwhelmed by the Supernova one. So if you're looking for one that will knock your socks off, that's one. The other one that I have that just blooms like crazy for me is Warsaw Nike, and that one I had picked up like at Home Depot or whatever in those little bags that are full of like some kind of dusty stuff. I will say you got to be careful because a lot of times I've picked up things there that they're dried out and you can't revive them. So it's a gamble with those ones. But so there's my Clematis all potted up, and I will see you in the next video.